streaming. Now I gotta wait for this thing to go online. And then you'll probably know right away because you'll get a notification, right?
Yeah.
I gotta put my headphones on. It's live. It's really live. Let me get these headphones in real quick. There we go. All right. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Do you have the stream up? Uh-oh, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Okay. I accidentally okay, there we go. We're good. All right. Thank you guys for tuning into the God-Shaped Mommy Hole. And today we got a guest, Clint Thiele, the Vengeful Jedi. Go ahead. How you doing, man?
How's it? Good. Good. How's it going, everybody?
What? Everybody hasn't tuned. Well, oh, I got a new subscriber, Vengeful Jedi.
Yeah. I thought I clicked it last night, but I just pulled up the channel. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So you have your own show, right?
I do.
I stopped following stuff on Twitter a couple months ago.
Dude, I stopped following shit on Twitter like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it gets old really fast. So what's your show about?
My show is the Geek Dig podcast.
Okay.
It's me and my buddy Steve. My buddy Skip is also a part of it, but he's in school right now.
Mm-hmm.
So he's away from the show, but really we just sit there and we bullshit about the week a little bit. And then, we'll sit there and talk, whatever we're into from that week for like gaming, technology, movies.
So you're into that like that industry. That's your niche.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, you can say that. I'm kind of a geek by trade.
Yeah. I'm a geek, but no one knows.
Okay.
You would know. I'm super nerdy. I'm into tech. I mean, I do everything on my own. I love anime. Naruto's my shit. I got his tattoo on my stomach. But yeah. So I've been wanting to get more people on here because me and Jody B, man, we vibe on the same level, and I just need to get some variation in here, man. I had to start this show over. I don't know. We probably started following each other when my show was originally GSMH before I went to Joint Narcissism, and now I'm back to GSMH. So, did you ever listen to the old stuff?
A little bit.
Probably. Yeah. So.
Yeah, because I tried listening to like as much shit as I could.
Yeah.
Because I know we'd had like little minor interactions here and there.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things. You try to. You try to follow everybody, show everybody a little bit of love, but then, yeah, exactly. You just run out of time in the day.
Yeah, well, it gets tough because there's as far as the geek realm goes, there's so many of you guys, and then and I think it's just Twitter. Let me take my braces out. So there's a link in the bio for invisible aligners. I got braces, and I can take them off and on. It's nice. You get a discount with my ambassador code in the thing, so go check that out, you guys. Smile Direct Club. All right. Also, the show is brought to you by Vape Panda. All right. Yeah. You like to suck on robot dicks, or like lightsabers without fucking the light. All right. Shit. So where do we start, man? Where do we start? We both agreed that there's we on both sides we got some family stuff going on. Yours is more a lot more I would say it's different from mine because mine is more drama. Yours is like, so if you go ahead and
a little bit of what's going on, without getting into all the gory details. My sister-in-law is really sick. Right now she's in the hospital, ICU. She's on life support. they ended up having to put her in a medically induced coma, kind of, froze down her brain and body temperatures. They're raising her back up right now because they're going to do some MRIs and check for brain activity. And, like, last I knew,
Tough.
they pumped a bunch of shit out of her stomach, and just
That's tough.
things are just crazy right now. Like, I didn't
Yeah.
find out until halfway through the morning at work, and so tomorrow I
Yeah.
took off. I'll be heading out to Indiana. I'm in Illinois,
Oh,
so
okay.
I'll
I used
be
to live out
heading over
there.
to Indiana tomorrow.
I used to live in Indiana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. I hope she gets better, man. Everybody and
Thanks.
everybody watching and listening, go ahead and send out those vibes. The body's amazing. We pick up on shit.
Hmm.
As far as mine goes, mine's more drama. The last show I was talking with Jody about how me and my mom are having issues because I essentially raised myself since I was 14, and because my mother, I use the scientific term, that part of my family are a bunch of mongoloid idiots. And I don't vibe with them at all. Like I don't even have love for my mom simply because of the way I was raised. Like it's not there. And that's not that I don't want it there. That's why I had her here, is so that I could develop that shit, but it was impossible. So she got herself sick, right? She got pneumonia and then she got
Yeah.
COPD. And she's like really obese, she's really unhealthy on all kinds of medicine. And I've been telling her all these things. I point out, that's why that happens, that's why that happens. You got to stop doing this if you want to stop feeling this. And she just refused. And then she got herself sick because she uses a CPAP that she never cleans. She went for a walk around the block. She sleeps with her window open, and she got pneumonia. And then she tried to say it was because I was keeping her on a sugar restricted diet. So I was just like, all right, like she tried to paint this evil picture of me, and I was just like, you know what?
Hmm.
So you're supposed to be my mother. Like if that's how you feel, like we're done. And then they try to come out here and they didn't tell me they were gonna move out. They sort of just like waited for their check to come in the mail, and then like when it was here, they showed up and they're like, "Oh, we're moving out." And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine, but you're gonna give me the money you owe me before you guys leave because I bought them a new tire. They owe me half the rent, which it wasn't a lot of money. It was like 170 bucks.
Yeah.
So they called. They didn't want to give me the money. They called the cops, and I told them I was like, "Go ahead, call the cops. They're not gonna do anything. You can't come in my house if I don't want you to come in. Even if
Hmm.
your shit's there, it doesn't matter." So we waited 2 hours. The cops showed up, told him exactly what I said, and it was this big ordeal. So I told him, yeah, and you know, it just sucks. I wanted to have a mom. That's all it was. That's why it's called the God-shaped mommy hole. I got mommy issues, you know,
Yeah.
and
No,
yeah, that's about
but
it.
dude, parent issues fucking suck, dude.
Hmm.
Like, I hadn't talked to my dad in over a decade,
Wow.
and we actually just finally got back in contact over Christmas.
How'd that go?
Um, all right. If we keep everything on a surface level, like we're just two normal grown ass men not related.
Okay, and then you don't get into the details and the past
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, because there's nothing that can be done about it. So why even fucking bring it up?
Well, there's one thing that can be done is closure. Closure is
Yeah.
important for your psychology. And that's one thing I learned. That's what helped me develop a little more from the person that I was because I went to a therapist shortly after my son's mother left me. She cheated on me. She left me. I went through this big downward spiral. That was when a joint narcissism was going on. And you listen to the later episodes, you can hear it. You can
Mhm.
hear how different I am. And he brought that up because my best friend from my childhood passed away and I didn't get to say goodbye. The person who was like my father, the reason why I have this house that I'm in, he passed away and I didn't get to say goodbye. There was and
Oh damn.
so there's a lot of non-closure happening in me, and it caused this craziness. So once the therapist brought that up, it was easier for me to deal with my issues. So I get on the surface level, if you keep it casual, everything's gonna be nice. But closure is nice too. It really heals.
Yeah.
It really helps heal the wounds instead of just masking it.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. And I mean, one of the things that's really helped out a lot that I've kind of used to bring closure a little bit, as much as I can,
Hmm.
is I know where he's at with a lot of mental issues.
Okay, so it's
So
give you
I
you have a
know,
better understanding.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I know a lot of the things that he's capable of, not capable of, just things that he's prone to, and
Hmm.
he's never sought help for any issue.
Yeah. So that's something
He's one of those like self-healing and self-medicating types.
sort of like me, sort of, but it's more. So is it because he doesn't want to confront the things, or is it because his ego's too big to allow someone else to tell him what it is? Because
Mm,
ego can make people make choices where it's protective to them, but it's actually
yeah.
long term hindering.
Like, I mean, he comes across, with people, he can come across as very very charming, in some ways charismatic.
Hmm.
Um, but when you look at his side of the family, which for me that's my mongoloid side of the family.
Yeah.
But when you look at where he's come from, and his upbringing, and where he was raised, he didn't learn a lot of conflict resolution and shit.
Mm.
His idea was, okay, I'm just gonna. He's like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm just gonna go and join the military. That didn't work out, but well, that's only because he got shot. It was honorable discharge. That I
Okay.
can that I can give. That I can't fault.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that was a great thing. Being a soldier and serving the country and everything. You can't
Yeah.
argue that.
Yeah.
You know, that's respect right there.
Yeah. See, a lot of times, what for me, because I used to be a woe is me type, where it's the world, oh why me, everything happens to me. But I came to this conclusion that once I know what the problem is, if it
Mhm.
doesn't get fixed, then it's my fault. There's no other excuse for it. So, like I told my mom, she because I'm very drill sergeant. I was also in the military. I was in the military for 6 years and
Okay, what branch?
Army Reserve. I
Okay.
only did active for a little bit. Um, but I like the habits. They're really good for life. To be
Yeah.
just straightforward, get the job done, no excuses, no reasons. My mom would always
Yeah.
give me excuses and reasons, and it would just there's something about that just sets me off, man. Like I'm usually a cool, level-headed guy, but once weakness is shown, like I just turn into a bully. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
believe people, even if you're not strong, you need to fake it till you become it. You don't show people that you're weak. Because
Mhm.
because at the end of the day, it's not other people's jobs to cater to you. It's your job to cater to you and to not be a burden to everyone else. That's each individual's job, I believe. And so she would do that. She would just give me her weak, and I would just get madder and madder. And then she would be like, I would tell her like, you just got to do it. You stop giving me excuses. She'd be like, you remind me of my dad. Every time he talked to me like that, I did exactly the opposite of what he said. And I'm just like, well, then you're making a conscious choice. You're making a conscious choice to do that to yourself. And when you say that, it makes me not give a shit even more. Like, you don't care? I don't care. You know what I mean? So if you're trying and you're doing, I'll have compassion and I will help. But if you're just sitting there and you're complaining and you're telling me how the world, I don't care. It's
Mhm.
this personal independence, this personal responsibility people need to learn, and a big part of that is getting rid of the ego because it's the ego that wants it. It's the ego that wants to be taken care of. It's the ego that wants to be lazy. It's the ego that thinks that it deserves that stuff. Ego is the devil, man. I absolutely believe that.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I mean, I too, back in the day was a very woe is me type of person. Therapy, depression, anxiety, whatever. But, there just comes to a point where you realize that it's action. Like you're saying, it's
Mhm.
taking action and getting up and doing something about it. There was kind of a turning point for me at work that really changed some things around. That really showed me how unfocused I was just in everything.
Yes.
So
What
I
was it?
sat down. Well, I do. My actual job, I do tech support for Redbox DVD,
Okay.
and I would just let myself get distracted by whatever,
Mm-hmm.
just bullshitting with my teammates a little too much, or that was. This is around when I kind of fell off of Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
actually, because I was doing so much of that shit at work and
Yeah.
trying to keep up with everything that I just started getting distracted from my actual job, and my performance was starting to suffer from it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got to a point where I'm like, you know what? I can't sit here and try to please everybody. I can't sit here and, you know,
Yeah.
do all this shit just to, hear good job from everybody and stroke that ego.
Yeah.
It's no, I have to get up and I have to do what's right for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I pretty much just stopped doing Twitter at all. I mean,
Yeah.
I kept it on my phone, and if I saw that somebody followed me, because I'd get that notification,
Mm-hmm.
I would just just pick up the phone. Okay, boom, follow back.
Yeah. Yeah. That's easy.
You
It's
know,
just a real quick press.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, if I saw myself tagged in something, it depended on who it was.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'd open it up and maybe take a look at it. But no, I mean, I quit doing shit like that,
Mm-hmm.
and then I started documenting every ticket that I worked on. So I'd put give myself a time limit,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, it'd be like 18 minutes or whatever I think was our handle time,
Uh-huh.
and I would mark down what time I started it, what time I ended it, and if I did anything, or if anything happened that brought that ticket over that time, I wrote down exactly what it was.
Okay.
So then I could look back at
Hey,
the end of the day and I could exactly account for all my
that's
time.
really good, man. That's really good. I like that. That's really good. It's very effective.
Oh yeah, and dude, my numbers shot up in less than a month.
See, I fucking love that, man. That's
And
awesome.
I mean, dude, I'm at a point right now where I'm actually helping train some of the new hires that come in,
Uh-huh.
because I'm like the mentor for our department now at this point.
Yeah.
Just because of that, you know, that work ethic and ability that I've been able to grow over the past couple years since I just started getting focused.
Yeah. It's a weird thing getting focused, huh?
Oh yeah,
It's like
dude,
you
it's
change.
it's an amazing thing. And
Mm-hmm.
then I had a little situation even this past year where I'd moved around a bit, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of my past I was helping people out with just whatever. Like I moved to Florida for a few years, and I was down there for family. I came back up here for back to Illinois for family situations, and I was just helping everybody out, and that was just
Yeah.
me. And don't get me wrong, you know I love my family, and I will be there and do whatever I can if I can.
Mm-hmm.
But it was at a point where I was letting myself sacrifice myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it.
And I just got to a point that last year I'm like, okay, well, I was like, I'm hitting 40. What the hell am I going to do?
Yeah. There's a point where you have to come to that realization, and it's like I came to that realization when I started podcasting. No, I would
Yeah.
say halfway. 20. It was like 20 episodes. 20. It was 28 episodes into GSMH when it originally started back in 2014. So I've been doing this stuff for 4 years now, and I learned a lot about myself. So
Mm.
similar to your situation where you're getting distracted, my thing is when I get a passion about something, like I go
Mhm.
hard, man. I go hard. And I went
Yeah.
so hard with joint narcissism that ruined my family relationship. Like everything just fell apart. My life fell apart because I was doing the tweets. I was doing all the shows. I was doing the editing. I was doing the graphic design for every episode, and it just consumed me. Because I was doing research, gaining knowledge for the show,
Mhm.
and I noticed how unhappy I was. I was just miserable. And I was like, okay, if I'm miserable, and everybody's leaving, like no one wants to be around me. It's like then there's something I'm doing that's not right. So I did
Mhm.
essentially what you did, but towards my life. Like how you took notes on the things that were distracting
Yeah.
you. I did that, but it took forever for me to get the the gist of it. Um,
Yeah.
so this time, the reason why I started up the GSMH again, and I'm only doing YouTube Live, is because there's very little work I have to do. After
Yeah.
we're done, I hit stop streaming and I'm done. That's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not scheduling. I'm not following a bunch of people. If people follow me, I'll only follow them back if I'm interested in what their things are. I don't do the follow for follow anymore. I'm trying to be a genuine person, because I noticed, like, okay, do you follow comedy at all?
Uh,
A little
very,
bit.
very, very little.
Okay. There's this
In fact, I
female.
actually just went to my first comedy club like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really? Dude, I love
Yeah.
comedy. I love laughing. Uh, there's this female comedian that I know of because of Kill Tony, which is a podcast. I don't know if you ever listen. It's really good. It's where they have pull names out of a bucket and they get 1 minute on stage. And
Okay.
she was on a couple times and she followed my Instagram, right? And I
Yeah.
thought about it because normally I would get excited, but then I thought about it because I did that hustle. All right. And then I sent her a message. I was like, hey, normally I would get excited about a comedian following me that I know, but I feel like you're doing it to gain followers. And then she wrote back. She's like, yes, my manager has my account on the system where blah, blah, blah. So I waited a few days. She was still following me. And then I followed her back. I checked this morning. She unfollowed me. And then I unfollowed her and wrote her a message, unfollow for unfollow with a kissy winky face. Well, it's like that. Like now I'm turned off by that. Now I don't even want to go look at her comedy. You know what I mean? Because it's so
Mhm.
inauthentic. It's not real. So what I learned from that exchange was that doing the follow for follow thing, it's not going to gain you true fans. It's just going to gain people that want follows for follows. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's better to, like, if she were to have the people in the audience say, if you enjoyed my stand up, follow me on Instagram. Instead of going around mass following people and then mass unfollowing people. It just gets old and it's time consuming.
Yeah.
And this is better, man. Like the I don't know. I don't
Dude,
know.
it's freeing.
Yeah.
There's just it's like you feel that burden being lifted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cause, dude, I tried doing that whole shit where I'd sit there and I would try once a week to go through my Twitter, and I noticed anybody that unfollowed me, I'd unfollow them back, and it's just,
It's just why? Why are
you
you
know what?
spending that much time, you know?
Yeah, exactly, and it's like it's all for what? So that's
Yeah.
why I just pretty much just stopped. You know,
Yeah.
any tweets that come out for me, it's just because when I go to upload an episode of the podcast, there's a little section that automatically posts to Twitter when I'm posting the episode.
What host do you use?
Libsyn.
I like Libsyn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah.
I've been with them the whole
Long
like the
time.
entire time that I've been doing the
Mm-hmm.
podcast, which started doing Geek Dig. It was August 2014.
Uh.
So like
Okay. Yeah.
three
Yeah.
and a half years.
Wow. That's I started God Shaped Mommy Hole I think it was February 2014.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like because I got the idea in 2013. I remember because I was working for K&N making these shirts. Got these. I was helping run the apparel department, and I that's actually when I got that job is when I discovered podcasts. I started listening to JRE, Your Mom's House, Bert Kreischer, Adam
Mm,
Carolla. Those were like the first shows I started listening to.
yeah. Dude, I am liking Bert Kreischer. I've
Um,
listened to his show. I've listened to a bunch of his stuff.
I I don't know. I really liked him, and I wanted to work for him. You know, when he was doing
Mm,
that whole thing, because I know like
yeah.
everything he wanted I can do, and like the guy that he got sucks. He's not that good, and it's just I don't know. Something happened where I got turned off by him, and now I'm not that
Mm,
interested in Bert anymore. I think I think it's because he's very similar to me, where he always brings himself up. Like I do that, and so when I recognize
mm,
that, like I recognize it in myself, and I get annoyed, and I try to fix it. But I notice it in him too, and I guess it's one of those things where like you don't really like yourself. Like when you meet people who are just like you don't really like them. You know,
mm.
I know this guy, he acts just like you, and then you meet him, and then you get a. I've had that experience before. I don't know what it is. I used to like him a lot. I thought he was great. Something happened. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm butthurt.
Well,
Maybe I'm butthurt that I didn't get the job.
and no worries. But
So how's your show? How's your show going? Is it good? Is it going good? You get
it's
a lot
good.
of fans and shit.
Well, see, I honestly don't really look at numbers much.
It's good not
Um,
to.
the whole reason I got into podcasting was just more for me
Uh huh.
anyway. Um, Back in the day, I was on this. I did this podcast with my buddy Jackson. He was telling me about it. I hadn't really listened to a podcast at the time. Jumped in there, and I'm like, okay, this sounds like a really cool idea. Yeah, I'll do this shit.
Yeah, yeah.
So we got into this show. We did like 52 episodes in a period of about 5 months. We were
Damn.
going a few times a week. We kind of,
Fuck yeah, man.
dude, we burned ourselves out though. We totally fucking crashed and burned.
Fuck, dude.
To the point that me and him fell out for about a year.
Really, you
Uh,
just got annoyed with each other?
yeah, and he was just like, you know what? Fuck all of this. I'm done.
That's what happened to GSMH 1.0 with Fredo and Clicks.
Yeah.
I'm like if they were willing to come back and do the show again, I would be so happy because I miss the, the aspect of me, my personality, Fredo's like narcissistic contrarian personality, Clicks' stoner Mexican personality. Like it
Mm,
was just great the way it was set up. Like I still listen to an old episode with us and laugh every single time. But I think that's what it was. I think like I was going so hard and I wanted, I wanted to do stuff. I wanted to gain experience. I wanted to make stories. Uh, I just wanted to. That's just the way I roll. Like when I do something, I do it. I don't half-ass it. But they weren't
yeah.
into it as much as I was, and it rubbed them the wrong way. You know what I mean? And it turned
Mm.
them off. And then I haven't talked to them. It's been about probably like a year. 2015 they stopped. 20, yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah. Oh shit, dude, 2 years. Fuck, 2 years.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, yeah, we like I said, we crashed and burned. We basically took a break. Me and him, talk now, and we're just as good of friends now as we ever were.
Yeah, that's good.
But we we went our separate ways podcasting wise.
Okay.
But I still had the itch to do it now that since I finally knew at that point what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah. It
So,
it 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 helps. It helps to know what you're doing, man.
oh
To
yeah.
gaining clarity is so important. It's a crucial thing if you want to do things right. A lot of
Yeah.
people like I used to be like that where I'd be like I don't care, let's just do it. I don't care if we don't have all the tools. I don't care if this and this and that. And I would just do it. And now I acknowledge why it's important to make sure you're squared away, especially in this realm. Like if you want to do it to gain a following and to be heard, you got to do it right because you don't want to turn people off immediately. Because the one thing I learned from the military is what's that word? Is perception is everything. Like if people don't know you,
Mm,
how they initially perceive you matters if you want people to like you.
mm,
So that's something I had to learn, and that changed. That changed a lot, and that helped out a lot. That helped out significantly. It's what helped me gain this format, like to formulate it to where okay, so I don't want to become overwhelmed, but I still want to do the show. I still want to look professional, and I still want to gain a following. So how do I do that without overwhelming myself? And this was the best choice, you know. And it's
yeah.
cool. It's cool. I have like 58 subscribers and I get like 20 views. It's cool. I don't
Mm,
even care because I know eventually this shit somebody will catch on and I got a lot of philosophy and I got life lessons and skills. And I'm only 29, dude. But I've been living on my own for 15 years all by myself. I've graduated high school, went to college, dropped out, joined the military, raising two kids, and I've never had help from parents. I've had friends that let me
mm,
crash on the couch, but and I take pride in that. I take pride in that, and I don't think that I had to go through that for nothing. I think what I learned is what my generation is missing. The stuff that I learned is the stuff that the whole generation needs to stop being little crybabies, pick up your big boy pants and just do the fucking work. Nobody's gonna save you. Nobody's gonna pay for your college tuition. Nobody's gonna give you a job. You have to fucking just get up. You have to go. You have to go. Like right now, I'm jobless because the beginning of the year, I quit cleaning pools. I was cleaning pools for 2.5 years, and it psychologically was killing me because it's a monotonous, unrewarding job. And I was just done. So New Year's came around, I quit. I jumped onto the Vape Panda. If you want, I can send you some juice, dude, and t-shirts. You know?
dude, that'd be sweet.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give the details after the show.
Yeah.
Um, and that was supposed to be a whole thing, but that hasn't worked out yet because the owner has way too much on his plate. So I have to wait for him to have enough time to give me all the stuff that I need to basically run the panda business for him. Then I'm applying for a cemetery job so that I can have a solid everyday job. And then also everybody watching, I got a gig because of my Instagram from Sean Price. He's a rapper who's a producer for a TV show he's working on, Out of the Mud. You can follow him on Instagram, Out of the Mud. Um, I'm gonna do some sound engineering stuff for them this month for a Netflix show, and I didn't even look for the fucking job. You know what I
Dude, that's
mean?
awesome.
Yeah, that's fucking cool. It's a great opportunity, and you know what? And it's all because I'm displaying what I can do on my social media platform. And it's Instagram is like the only thing that I do now that where I really focus because
Mm,
that's a better place for someone like me to display my personality. You know what I mean? So that people
yeah.
can better know who I am. But Twitter, you get more of my angrier side, my narcissistic side, where I'm just like talking shit or talking down on something, and it brings out the worst in me, I guess. I don't know. That's why I also got rid of Facebook, and I'm on the verge of deleting Twitter. So I don't know.
Okay.
So what do you think about this shooting, man? Are you numb to it too?
You know, a part of me is um it pisses me off more than anything.
It's
I
annoying,
mean,
man. It's
I mean,
like
obviously, yes, it's one of those, situations where you hear enough of it and you're kind of numb to it. Um, but I had a situation last year. Was it was it last year where they had that shooting at the gay bar in Orlando?
oh no, it wasn't last year. It
Okay, it was the year
was
before.
yeah,
It was the
yeah,
year before. Okay, it was
2016.
2016. That's
Yeah.
right. I was trying to remember.
Yeah, yeah.
I was in Orlando that weekend.
Oh fuck, dude.
Yeah, and
I know. Yeah, that one shooting that happened here in San Bernardino.
mhm.
My daughter's school was a block away.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where I remember getting. I mean, I was out with the family that night. We were doing the Disney thing. We were taking my nephews there for the first time,
Hmm.
and I wake up in the morning and I get all these. I'm seeing all these texts and messages from friends. Are like, "Dude, are you okay? Dude, what the fuck?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then you get the occasional smartass. It's like, "Oh, dude, you had to be at that gay bar." Like, fuck you, dude.
That's funny.
Oh, that was my buddy Brian. He's a dick, but I love the guy.
Yeah, this whole mass shooting thing, I'm so like ever since Trump became president, like my whole view has changed. Like I know I've turned a lot of people off because I am a Trump supporter, and don't get me wrong, I didn't vote for him. I voted for fucking Gary Johnson, and before that I wanted Bernie, and then before that I voted for Obama both terms. But when Trump became president, it forced me to study. It forced me to look into shit. It forced me to be like, okay, what's going on here? Because this is the first time ever in the history of America that anything other than a general or a politician has become president. It's the first time ever. So I started looking at. I'm not the type of person that looks at what people say. Like you can say anything. Like I have friends that say horrible things, but they're still great people. So with that in my mind, like who cares what Trump says? I don't care if he says the meanest thing on the planet. All I care about is what he's doing for me, what he did for me. Um, and I know I turned a lot of people off, but the way I see it, I don't think it's a gun problem. It's not a fucking gun problem. It's
No, it's
and
not.
and and don't get me wrong, it is sad and it sucks that people die for stupid fucking reasons. And I have a daughter, I have kids. It would kill me if they were killed by a gun. But even if they were killed by a gun, I would not be like all guns need to be taken away because that's stupid. That the that's not a rational way to deal with that problem. People like the gun does not possess you. It doesn't take control of your mind. It's not a sentient being that can make a conscious choice. We are,
Right.
and it's a like there's so much information out there now that like sugar. Like I think sugar is the worst thing. Like it's cool every once in a while as a pleasure, but sugar is in everything. It's in everything,
Dude,
dude. And
believe
we're
me,
not
I know
evolved.
that.
We're not evolved to handle it. That's what people don't understand. That paradigm of the American diet is only like 60, 70 years old. So in the grand human species scale, this is new. Our bodies aren't evolved for this shit yet. That's why we have, the insulin issues. That's why we eat sugar, we get an insulin spike, then it drops, and then we
Hmm.
got to think of our mental, the endocrine system, the hormone imbalances.
Hmm.
Our bodies are not meant to run like this.
Yeah,
And
and dude, I'm actually a perfect example of that. I'm a type 2.
okay, so I mean, all you have to do is stop eating sugar, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. I
And
mean, the for me it's not so much the um just the like my body, it doesn't like produce enough insulin basically.
fast. Look,
Yeah.
this is what I
So,
this is what I do. So if you can if anybody's interested, go to my Instagram, Tony Cosner. All right, it's on there, and just go all the way down to like 2014, as far back as you can, and just look at me. Just look at me. I'm a completely different person. I look different. I sound different. I think different, and it was because basically from listening to Joe Rogan's podcast and
mm,
applying all the information to my life. You know, I started adding vitamin D3 to my diet, an insane amount of vitamin D3, dude. I take like 5-6,000 IU's a day. Like I don't fuck
wow.
around, dude. I like I take so much supplements. And then I got into the fasting, and then I got into keto, and now I just make it a part of my life. Now I like last night, dude, I grubbed the fuck down on a bunch of spaghetti and candy. I don't give a fuck. But today I didn't eat until 3 o'clock. So I fasted from the time I went to bed to 3 o'clock. I allowed my body to do its thing. And then when you fast, your body goes into recovery mode. So it starts to heal things that aren't working properly.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm a living example of all these things. Like it just takes work. It just takes work. You just gotta. What I tell people when they ask me, "How did you do it?" And it's a real simple answer. I just tell them I love myself. You have to love yourself like you love your kids. That's the only way you'll fix yourself. Because the reason why I use that is because I love my kids so much. I'll do
Mm-hmm.
anything for them. I will be mean to them so that they don't get hurt. I will do whatever it takes to make sure that they have the skills, whatever. Like, you know, and a lot of people won't do that to themselves. They want to comfort. They want to they when they feel bad, they want to feel good right away. And I noticed like with alcohol, that's what I did with alcohol. Like I suffer from anxiety all the time. I've been depressed my whole life because I had traumatic brain injury. In 10th grade, I got jumped by 10 people and I had a concussion the entire day. I
Holy
repeated
shit.
myself. I repeated myself every 15 minutes and nobody took me to the hospital. And then from that point on, I've always been depressed and suicidal and I never knew why. And then listening to Joe Rogan, and he had this Matt Green or Matt. He had a doctor on that talked about TBI, and I was like, well, no fucking shit, I was a horrible person. No wonder why I was the way I was. And then so with that understanding, I began to apply the things, and then my body began to fix itself, and then I became better. And that's all it takes, man. It's just knowledge and applying, and it takes a real effort. It's not easy. I'm not telling anybody that it's easy. But once you get started, it becomes easy. And then, like, when you get where I'm at, it's easier. It's so easy because I can eat junk food. All I have to do is just go, okay, I'll fucking pig out today. And then the rest of the week, I'll just take care of my body. And then I know I'll be fine. Instead of making it a life habit of every day eating pizza, every day drinking a
Mm-hmm.
soda, every day not exercising, just every day, that compiles and adds on and adds on and adds on. I guess the metaphor that I use is like you have a glass of Coke and you're slowly pouring water in it. And then eventually you get a glass of water. And then you can add a little bit of Coke here and there because it's not going to dilute, it's not going to turn the whole water brown. And then all you have to do is add some more water and you'll be back to where you were. You know what I mean? Does that allegory metaphor make sense?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it
it
makes sense.
yeah, and I like that's what I guess that's where my compassion comes in. It's because like I know the hell that I was in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I know how miserable I was. It makes me want to cry sometimes. Like I've gotten to a point where now when I think of kids that have to grow up similar to me, I just want to cry and I want to hug them. You know what I mean? Because I understand now and I understand where they're going to go. And I understand how it sets them up for failure and like how hard their life is going to be and how they're not going to know why and how unfair it is that they don't know. So that's why I use that. If you know what's wrong and you don't fix it, then it's your fault.
Mm-hmm.
There's no compassion there. Why did I go on that
Yeah.
rant? I went on a rant. My bad.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, man, I thinking like I have this buddy of mine, and I met him right around the time that I started Geek Dig. We actually met in a subreddit about podcasting, and I love this guy to death.
Mhm.
He's a great buddy of mine. The dude's become like my little brother,
That's cool.
and just in talking to him, interacting with him, come to realize that there's not a lot of really solid, close friendships that he has.
And,
Because he kind of moved away from where he grew up and everything, and he just
mhm,
never really acclimated to where he was at.
mhm,
And he was getting really, just really down about a lot of stuff, and just feeling alone a lot of time,
Yeah.
and I was like, dude, you got to realize, I'm like, you're not, and I mean, I'll sit there and talk to him all the time.
Hmm.
He'll be going through something, and I'll jump in and try to help him out with shit, you
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah, that's tough loneliness. Loneliness is
yeah,
tough. It's an
but
acquired taste.
he's picked himself up though, and just really started. I mean, he's had a couple challenges. It's amazing the way he's getting through a bunch of them.
Uh-huh.
He's becoming a lot more positive and a lot more assertive in different things, and it's like he's finally really coming into his own.
Hmm.
But I think he just needed. I saw that he needed that opportunity to have somebody believe in him.
Yes.
For him to be like, for him to feel like he had a fan somewhere.
See, that's important. That is so important, and that's why I was talking about this before with Jody, and this is it's the it's the reason why like I was so needy. Like I pushed a lot of people away because of that. Like I wanted people to be around, and like I lost my first marriage because of that. Because like God shaped mommy hole for me is essentially I've never been loved by my mother. I don't know unconditional love. I don't know what that is. And it created this hole inside of me that I didn't psychologically understand. So like clearly I'm a handsome young man, right? And I'm funny. So I get girls like this. I used to. I don't get no girls now. I'm fucking lonely. But back in the day, I did girls. It was easy. It was never a challenge. So I constantly was having sex with a bunch of different girls. Not bragging. I've said this before. It's terrible. I shouldn't have done that. And it psychologically like was the reason I like my marriage fell apart because I just needed the attention from other females. I needed it. I didn't under this is okay. What I'm getting at is it's important for you to love your fucking kids. You need to love your kids because that's where they'll get annoyed by all the attention. And then when they become adults, they will be okay with being alone because they know that their parents fucking love them and they don't need to go find love. It's like an RPG game. It's like one of the levels at the very beginning that you have to do, and if you don't, the rest of the game's gonna be fucking hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of skills that we need to acquire that's supposed to be handed down to us from our parents that wasn't. And it's made like the last two, three generations be miserable. That's why we are where we are. That's why we have freaking, people out there yelling at white males for being white. And you have, a generation of kids that think the whole world owes them everything. And that's because their parents didn't love them properly, or they loved them too much and made them think that they were perfect. See, it's important for you to tell your kid that they're dumbass sometimes. It's important for you to tell them you love them too. It's the parents' job to set them up for the real world. And I went through the world like thinking that I was the bee's knees, elbows, in the arms, bro. Like I thought I knew everything. I thought nobody could tell me a goddamn thing. And like my life has been so hard because of that. Like if I would have just been given those small skills, even if I was out in the world on my own, if I would have had those skills, I would have made far better choices and I'd be in a far better place right now. You know?
Yeah.
And loneliness is something that is good if you have a passion or if you have a goal. It's good to be alone if you have a goal because then you have no distractions. You can meet your goal faster, you know? And
Mhm.
I still suffer from this loneliness shit. Like if you guys want to go look at my Instagram, I got drunk last night by myself and posted a bunch of Instagram stories of me singing love songs. And it's just like it
Okay,
was
I need to look this up later.
I deleted a bunch of them. I left a few because it was funny, but it's these small things are important, man. And
Mhm.
that's why like when it comes to racial issues, I have no real like I just believe in the individual. I don't believe in groups. I don't believe in skin color. I mean, it's not that I don't believe in it. I don't acknowledge it. Like I
Yeah.
know it's there. I just don't fucking acknowledge it because you know what? It's the mind. It's the
Yeah.
mind that makes the difference. I've met amazing black people. I've met shitty black people. I've met amazing Asian people. Oh, I've met shitty Asian people. I've met amazing Mexicans and I've met shitty Mexicans. Like my whole life I've been beat up by Mexicans. I don't hate Mexicans, you know? I I got the
Yeah.
tooth knocked out by a Mexican. Sucker punched me. I don't hate Mexicans, you know? It's
Hmm.
just it's the individual. That's what people need to acknowledge. If there's an individual that is a shitty person, he's a shitty person, not the whole fucking race. You know, like it's ignorant to believe that some like your pigment makes you deserve or makes you less than. You know, and
Yeah.
there's this whole idea that somebody owes you something. Like people have to get that the fuck out of their mind. Even if someone does you dirty, it's up to you to ignore that. It's up to you to let it go. That individual doesn't owe you a goddamn thing. He doesn't. If you want revenge, get revenge. But you need to understand if somebody does you dirty and they don't apologize, oh fucking well, move on. Like try. You can try to create closure, and they don't want it. As long as you tried, that can be closure enough for you because you know you did everything you needed to do. So, you know,
Yeah.
like with your father, or like I did with my mother, or I even tried with my brother. And the mongoloid idiot side of the family are just incapable of dropping the ego to make amends, to create lasting relationships, because to them self-preservation is more important than that's essentially what the ego does. It's like self-preservation. So it's self-preservating its ego, its self, its non-physical self, its ideas, and it ruins relationships and friendships, and refuses to admit wrong, because then that would mean that itself is wrong, and which means it shouldn't exist, which is anti self-preservation. Does that make any sense?
Totally does. In fact, in talking with the whole race thing, I have some personal experience with it. My sister, obviously she's not black, but no,
Okay.
her husband is. My
Okay.
brother-in-law is.
Okay.
They have, you know, two boys. Dude, my nephews are the most brilliant, awesome, amazing, like just
Yeah.
the coolest little creatures in the world. I love these guys.
Yeah.
And it it's amazing to see, I mean, and there's like nothing with like color. Like I could sit there and talk to somebody. I mean, I only mention my brother-in-law's black just for the illustration of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like if I'm talking to somebody, and
This is
I'm
just your
mentioning
brother-in-law.
him, yeah, I'm like, yeah, I don't bring that up. I'm like, dude, he's awesome. He's smart. He does this and this. He's you know
Yeah.
supports my nephews and all of their endeavors and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like the older ones in basketball. He sends me all the pictures and tells me about all the great plays and everything in the games
That's good.
because most of his games are on days that I work.
Okay.
So I
So
don't get to make the games.
that's cool, man.
Yeah. And it's great because it's
It because it doesn't
all about
matter.
the love. Yeah,
Yes, it's
it
about
like the
what's
color doesn't matter. It's
yes.
just
Yes. It's
it's
all
all
about
about the love there.
how much love you can give. Who said that?
Yeah.
Wim Hof. Wim Hof. He said that's the true man. I don't know if it's his direct quote, but it was on his Instagram. That's the true measure of a man. Is how much can you love?
Mhm.
That's the true
Yeah.
measure of a man. Because
And
like love is a wide like spectrum. It covers a lot. It's not just a
yeah.
singular thing. It's not like a singular physical action. It's not just a word. It's like a whole bunch of stuff. Like, for example, me. Like I love my kids so much. I live in this shithole ghetto because I can afford this spot. It's so cheap. Like I don't even pay rent. I just pay the utilities. It's very fortunate. And I hate this place. Oh, I'm surrounded by people who don't believe in anything that I believe in. Like they're all moochers. They're all like generational welfare families. And like
Mm.
and like they're all, like the neighborhood is shit. They destroy everything. There's no ownership and like it's all kids that are growing up in broken families. They're just repeating the cycle of shit, and it bugs me. And I don't want to bring my kids up in like there's drive-bys all the time. There's like this guy got killed a couple of weeks ago, right next door. It's always
Yeah.
happening. And but I love my kids so much that I'm never gonna not be in their life.
Right.
I don't care how shit my life is. I need to be there so that they don't suffer the way that I suffered. That's how much I love them. I will continue to suffer so that they don't. You know, that's
Mm.
love. Love, people, people will talk shit to me and try to make me feel bad because of the way that I live or the way that I think. And like I love my kids so much, it doesn't bother me because I know why. I have a motive. That's my motivation. You know, you have to have a motive to have motivation. My motive is to make sure my kids don't suffer. And like when you hear the word suffer, a lot of people think like torture. No, I'm talking emotional suffering. Emotional suffering is it it makes like when I hear of a kid that suffers emotionally, like I have so much empathy in my heart. Like I just want to grab that kid and take him, you know? But
Mm.
all I can do is make sure that I do that for my kids, and that's love.
Yeah.
And that should be the measure of a man, not the color of his skin, not the things that he says, the things that he does, you know?
Yeah.
But we live in a world of nihilists and slave morality types. So they most likely will never come to the light and see that. And it, and
Hmm.
and it's a bummer. It's a bummer.
Yeah. And dude, there's so much shit. There's just so much poison out there. Is really the best word for it. Like, do you remember when it was going around? There was this like open letter that this chick wrote called "Dear White People."
Oh my God, yeah. I
Dude,
cannot.
she's
Go ahead.
it was disgusting. I'm like, you know, here, I'm sitting here trying to live by, you know, okay, I'm gonna I'm only gonna have what I earn. I'm not gonna sit here and look to take from everybody. What I have is because I earned it.
Hmm.
Okay, obviously, I get like a gift for Christmas or my birthday or something.
I don't
Obviously,
even get
that's a
that.
different story.
I don't even get that.
But
Shit. I don't
but
get celebrated, but go ahead. Sorry.
that's okay. Um, no, but the point is, I don't need it if it's not, you know, something that I can't just go out and get or earn.
Yeah.
Um, and I want like my nephews. When I ever have kids, I'm gonna want them to,
Same.
have that sense of pride and have that sense
Yes.
of, okay, if I want it, I gotta get off my lazy ass and go get it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I get what you're saying.
This letter, she was just like, well, okay, all you white people, if you're gonna leave your property to somebody, you need to leave it to like a black guy, or you need to leave it to like this black family, or if you're getting rid of a car, give it to this, like black people, or if you have land, donate it to the like this black cause, and
And
this.
you know that I get. Yeah. It's a lack of knowledge. That's all that is. That's all that is, man. Like it's really annoying. And I can don't get me wrong. Okay, let's play. All right, I get it. Black culture in America is new. It's not that old. A white culture in America, it's been since America started, right? We're talking hundreds of years. White culture has been a thing. Black culture is new. It's like same as the American diet is new. It's like 50, 50, 70 years old. However long ago the Jim Crow laws were. And I get, look, they need to understand that it's the Democrats' fault. The reason why the black culture has had to struggle for so long is because giving people stuff takes away incentive for growth. That's why they have the saying: "Teach a man to give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach him a fish, he eats for the rest of his life." It's the same concept. I do not like when I lost my job. Like my mom wanted me to go get food stamps. She wants to go to these churches and get food, and I'm like, nope, no. Nope, I don't want anything free. If I'm poor, I'm fucking poor. Like I got chickens, I got 4 chickens. They lay eggs. That means I got food. You know, it sucks. But you know what that shit is? That's called motivation. To get my ass up and get a fucking job so I can eat the food that I want to eat. Not go ask for a fucking handout. You know, like
Yeah.
there's that incentive. There's that there's something in our soul. It's like another life experience shit. You know, it's like an RPG game. If we don't have that drive inside of us, we become, you know, basically useless. And with black culture, I get it. I get the anger at the history, but you also you have to understand like the Jews. Why are the Jews so rich? They were slaves, and then they said fuck that, and
Hmm.
then they worked their dicks off into the dirt, and now they're rich as fuck. They rule the world. And then look at the Chinese.
Yeah.
They're you know like World War II. They were freaking in concentration camps. You don't see them. No, what did they do when they got out
Nope.
of the concentration camps? They worked harder than everybody else, and now they are the richest racial group in America
Yeah.
because
And
they worked their
they're like the biggest fucking group of people ever. I mean, they got like what? Like the biggest country.
yeah. Well, here in America, they're the richest group because
Yeah.
they what happened, and they just said never again, and then they became very rich and successful and influential. That's the all I'm saying is if you can't beat them, join them.
Hmm.
You have to adapt. You have to adapt. You can't just be on the bottom complaining about the people on top. Make it to the top. Make it like I was telling this guy at the gym. He's talking about, police brutality and Trump, how he's racist. And I'm just like, Trump's not like, I've looked at his history. He's not racist. Like, he might be a silly fucking goofball that says dumb fucking shit. But so what? He's killing it as far as passing laws and making my life better. Like, that's all I give a fuck about. And that's what everybody should give a fuck about. Each
Yeah.
individual should vote for the person who has their best interests at heart. Now, the president cannot have a single focus on black culture. He can't have a single focus on Asian culture. He can't have a single focus on white culture. All he can focus on is America. That's it. Not any subracial groups. He has to focus on our prosperity. He has to focus on our safety. Those are the two things that's his job, to make sure we're safe and to make sure that we ball out of control. And I think he's doing a good job at those two things. I mean, who knows? We got to wait a couple years to see how it plays out. But the laws like they seem good. I mean, Obama seemed good, but the laws that he passed fucked me over. Obamacare. I got $600 taken out of my fucking income taxes because I didn't have health care. And I don't even get fucking sick to where I need to go to the hospital. I haven't been in the hospital for anything serious in a long time. The only other thing was like
Yeah.
I got like an eye thing, and I just got that was taken care of. So that's what I mean. Like, individuals need to take responsibility for them fucking selves. You don't like your life, you change it. Don't ask me to change it. You don't have a house, I'm not gonna give you one. You don't have a car, I'm not gonna give you one. Nobody's gonna give you shit. That's what people need to know. The world sucks, man, and it ain't fair, and it ain't nice, and you can't make it be nice. If you want it to be nice, you gotta suffer, and you gotta struggle, and you gotta work
Hmm.
for your nice. You
Dude,
know?
you have to make your own world.
Yes.
Really. I
Yes.
mean, I can't sit here and bitch about the world around me or just, people this and that. I mean, yeah, that shit's out there and it really sucks. But no, me, dude, I fucking love people. Why? Because the people that I have, invited into my life and the little family and community that I have built around myself is amazing.
That's cool, man.
And
That's a that's a thing to be proud of.
dude, it like and there's all kinds of people. Like I have this one friend that if he catches me like getting into my head or he thinks I'm just being
Yeah.
too depressed or too into myself, like right in the middle of the conversation he'll just be like, dude, you need to pull your head out of your ass
Yes.
right now.
Yeah.
And that I can't tell you how many times I've heard him say that to me.
See, that's a friend that cares, man.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
and
that's
now it's to the
good.
point where I will catch myself doing something,
Yes.
and I won't even be talking to him, and I will hear him in my head, pull your head out of your ass.
Yeah, man.
And
Sometimes you
dude,
gotta
I mean,
like.
and
Sometimes
that's
love is
great.
mean. Sometimes love is
Yeah,
mean.
yeah, and I need that. And I'll
Yeah.
tell you, dude, I am glad this guy is one of my best friends
Yeah.
because he is going to challenge me and make me a better person, or help make me a better person
Hmm.
than I was yesterday, than I was the day before that.
Yeah.
Obviously, I need to take what he gives me, and I'm going to be the one who's going to make that change. You
Absolutely.
know,
Yeah. That's
but
that's a good point, man. That's my daughter brought that up yesterday. I was driving her home from school, and I was talking to her about how her grandmother had moved out, and like how much relief I feel. Like I was stressed like all month last month, dude. I was like fucking stressed every single day. I was angry,
mm-hmm,
and like the moment they were gone, I'm just like poof, weight lifted. And I was talking to my daughter about it, and she was like, "Yeah, I know." And I was like, "Do you see how when you hang out with people or you're around people that aren't on your level, they bring you down?" And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "That's why it's important." I was like, "See, that's why it's important to hang out with people to be on your level." And she goes, "It's also important to hang out with people that are above your level." And I was like, "God damn it, that's a good point." She's like, "So they can bring you up." And I was like, "Fuck that. I'm
yeah,
doing a good job with this kid."
dude, that is awesome.
She's like nine. No, she's 9.5, dude, and she's got wisdom already. And it's just like, fuck yeah. And that's like, see, that's love, man. Like
Mm,
most parents want to avoid talking to their kids about the shitty parts of life because they want them to maintain their innocence. And like,
yeah,
basically, the way I was raised, I didn't have innocence. I wasn't given that shit. Like, I
yeah.
didn't have that opportunity. And I like for some reason I don't want to give my kids that either. Because of the world that we're growing up in, I feel like they need to be rational right away and they need to have wisdom right away. And a lot of times when you get that, you lose your innocence because with that comes understanding of the real world,
Mm-hmm,
you know? And
yeah.
we know the real world is not that fun.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude. So back when my nephew Jordan was like 4 or 5, uh, I was hanging out over at my sister's place, and I was watching them, and there was some commercial on TV for a movie, and I think I was really into the actress Keira Knightley at the time,
Oh yeah.
and I mean, don't get me wrong, I still like her, but I've got, my interests lie a little bit elsewhere now. Uh, but I remember telling him, I was like, "Hey Jordan, that's my girlfriend right there up on the screen." And he's like, "Really?" He's like, "How come she never comes over?" I'm like, "Because she doesn't know that she's my girlfriend." And he just looks at me and he goes, "Uncle Clint, don't get mad." And I'm like, "Okay, whatever's gonna come out of this kid's mouth next has to be
Oh,
gold."
that's funny.
And he's like, "Don't be mad, but you need to break up with her. You need to forget about her." I'm
Oh,
like, I'm
dang.
like, why? He's like, because you need to be somebody that wants to be with you. You need to be
Wow.
with somebody who loves you.
Wow. Wow.
I was like, this kid just said like the most brilliant fucking
Right?
thing I've ever heard.
This kid's love wise. This kid knows what love is, man.
I'm like,
Wow.
I'm like, fuck Michael Myers. This kid is the love guru.
Right? It's the innocence, man. It's honest. It's so and a lot of things in this world, a lot of things are super obvious. A lot of
Oh
things are
yeah.
super obvious and I think a lot of times we get so involved with ourselves, we get so caught up in our own shit that almost we have cognitive dissonance to obvious shit. You know what I mean? Like we unconsciously just ignore it. Like me, when I was going through that downward spiral on the joint narcissism show, it was all my fault. It was all my fault why I was so depressed. I was drinking fucking tall cans every single day. I had a shit diet. I didn't exercise. I took no supplements. And basically if you drink all the time, it uses up your serotonin, which is what fucking makes you happy. And
Mm-hmm.
and the only way I felt good is when I drank. And it was just this self-perpetuating circle of shit that I was ignoring the fact that all I had to do was stop drinking. Like I haven't drank in a long time. Last night was the first time in a really like probably like a few months that I've touched alcohol, you know? And
Yeah.
and today I felt it. And I'm like, yeah, now I remember why I stopped drinking. Because like I
Hmm.
had anxiety all day. Like fucking my body was all weird. Feels like shit. Like I'm like cognitive dissonance to our own well-being is a lot. I think that's the American condition. We ignore it and we mask it with like comfort food, comfort drink, quick band-aids, whatever's going to make us feel good right away is what we go towards rather than doing the work for long-term feel good, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, this is a lesson that I learned actually at work through the troubleshooting that I do.
Uh-huh.
In that you can't apply the band-aid like you're just saying.
Hmm.
Yeah, I could treat the immediate symptom, the immediate, whatever's going on with this machine.
Yeah.
But if I don't dig deeper and I don't find the root cause,
The root fucking cause. I'm
dude,
glad you said that. I've been coining that term in the last 3 shows.
yeah, dude, and if you don't find that root fucking cause, dude, your shit's just gonna fuck
It's
right
gonna
up again.
keep happening. It's gonna keep happening. Yes,
Yeah.
I call it base root, the base root, because like my base root was the fact that I never experienced unconditional love. That was the base root to all of my fucking cascading mental issues and life problems was because of that root. Now that's like with my mother. I know what her root was, and I told her what she had to do to get out of it, and she's 50, so she's so set in her way where it's like she absolutely believes that she's just broken and that she needs that that's the way that she has to live. And like so I have to just basically disown her at this point because I right now I don't know how to love without judgment. That's something else that a negative that I have to work on with myself because aside from well, see I can't even say that about my kid. Well, I would be disappointed, but I would still love them.
Mm,
Yeah. Okay. So fucking forgot what I was. Whatever. Base root. I love that.
yeah.
I love that. I think if I need to write a book about base roots because I there's it's everywhere, man. It's everywhere. You could apply it to psychological shit. You could to physical shit. You can apply it to mechanical shit. If you find the base root, you can
Hmm.
solve all the fucking problems. People just want to
Yeah.
slap band-aids on shit. They want a quick fix. They don't want to dig and they don't want to repair.
True. And one example that I can think of is you know the guy or girl, whoever, that goes out there and is just a serial dater, just
Yes.
failure after failure after failure after
This guy.
relationship after encounter.
This guy.
It's yeah, exactly. It's like all these guys are the same and all these guys are doing this and this that,
Yeah.
or
But it's like, are
it's
they?
like every chick is the same, every chick,
Yeah.
it's well, this one does this and this one does this. You kind of gotta eventually at one point look at the common denominator.
Yes.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay, then you realize maybe there's something in yourself that you have
Mm-hmm.
to work on a little bit
Yep.
to and once you develop that, once you grow that a little bit, then you're going to be able to go out there and find what it is that you're really wanting to look for.
Absolutely.
And okay, in full disclosure, I'm actually talking about this from personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, okay, well, this one cheated on me. This one ended up being a lesbian. This one, this, that, the other issue.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, no, why am I having all of these issues? It's
Yeah.
because I wasn't loving myself the way that I needed to,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just pretty much looking to have that relationship, to have that comfort in
Yeah.
that.
To have
It,
someone
well,
there.
yeah, it was just to have somebody there, and almost didn't matter who.
Yep.
It
I know
was
exactly what you're
for,
saying.
and now, hey, I've got this, I just started talking to this girl, this great girl, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take things a little bit differently. I'm
Do
going to
it
be a
old
little
school,
bit,
bro.
yeah, I was like, dude, I'm going to make sure that if we go out, I mean, we are going to have a date, obviously. We're in the
Yeah.
process of planning that. But, with the way that shit's gone the last couple of days, we're putting it off a couple of days. Um, but I'm going to make sure that if I'm going to get into a relationship with her, it's because of her.
You
She's
like
the
her.
shit. Yeah, it's because I
Yes.
like her. It's because she's the shit. She's, the one who, you know, makes me laugh, makes me happy. I can make her laugh. And, that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
it's not in love with the idea of being in love. It's
Yes.
it's the idea of being in love with that person.
Yeah. And I completely agree. And we're on the same page there when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
that premise. Like me, I've had a girlfriend every single year of my life since kindergarten, since I can remember. I've always had a girlfriend. And that same premise you brought up, like same thing. Everybody was leaving me. All of my friends stopped wanting to hang out with me. Um, people are in and out of my life, and I started to question, like, it isn't everybody. Like, what's wrong with me? Why don't people like me? What's wrong with me? So it was that was like the initial starter for the fixing myself thing. It's like, why
Mm-hmm.
do I suck? Like, you could feel it when you suck. Like, if I feel like you're aware when you suck, because I'm aware when I suck, and like I feel shame, and I think that's important.
Mm-hmm.
And so after my recent ex cheated on me and left me, and I went through that horrible downward spiral. Like, I almost killed myself. Like, I've attempted suicide twice, and there was a third time
Shit.
going to happen last year. And this is the first time where I'm okay with being alone. I'm 29. This is the first time in my whole life where I've been alone for almost a year. In May, it will be a year where I have been single. The first time ever. This is huge for me.
Wow.
And it feels great. But to be honest with you, I do want to date, but I have no fucking idea how. Because now that I'm a different person, I don't approach things the same. And when it comes to dating, I have no fucking idea how to do it. Like, I was talking to this girl, she wanted to date, but I could never fucking see her. See her like once or twice a month, and then, like, yeah, it doesn't matter if, like, that's just not enough. If I'm gonna date somebody, I want to at least see him once a week. Once a week is fine. Even if it's once a week. If we're too busy working or whatever, they live far apart, or even, a couple times a week. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be all the time, but if I'm gonna date someone and have them be a part of my life, it has to be in a way where I'm not gonna spend a bunch of time with them and then later on down the line find out that I don't even fucking like them. You know what I mean? So,
Mm-hmm.
like, I take that into account. So if I date, I need to be able to hang out with this person, to know as much about them as possible, to see if we click on what levels we click, because you don't get along with people. Like, your significant other isn't gonna like everything about you, and you're not gonna like everything about them, but it's about finding what you do like, and loving the fuck out of it to the point where you don't care. And another thing I learned about relationships is, if you want a relationship to work, you both need to be equally of service to each other. It is your job to make that person happy. It is that person.
Yes.
You cannot worry about them making you happy. All you can do is be of service of them to them and make them happy. And in doing that, it brings you joy. It really brings you joy by making someone else happy. And by making
Mm-hmm.
someone else happy, a lot of the time they want to return the favor. And if they don't, they're a shitty person, and you're most likely gonna break up anyways.
Yeah.
But these are concepts that you're supposed to learn from your parents, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
the last couple of generations grew up with fatherless families, and it sucks. And I get
Yeah.
it, though. I get it, man. I understand why dads run off. I get it. It's not easy. I have two baby moms, okay? And there's points where we don't get along. And it's so easy to just run away. It's so easy. Like I think about it a lot. A lot. I just want to disappear and just like start a new life somewhere. But
Mhm.
I'm not a coward and I'm not weak. I shoulder my burden. That's another thing I learned about being a man. A man in a family, you shoulder all the burden and you don't complain. That is the job of the father. To teach, like if you have a son, you teach them how to be man by being a man. You don't tell them how to be a man. You just show them how to be a man. That was a lot of my problem because I didn't have a dad. I still don't even know who my dad is, but I never had a male figure show me what it is to be a man. The only male figure I had is the guy that I got this house from. He passed away in 2012. And what I learned from him is if somebody else can do it, why the fuck can't I? You know,
Yep.
that's why I could do sound engineering, graphic design. I'm doing this producing shit. I can do construction, I can do plumbing, I can do fucking welding,
Mhm.
I could be a mechanic on a car. There is nothing I can't do. You know why? Because someone else can do it. Why are they better than me? You know?
Yeah.
And that was because he set that example for me. He showed me that like he did everything too. And I was like, okay, that it just seemed like what men do. And then I meet people where it's like they have no fucking clue what an engine is. And it's just like, well, learn, you know, there's like not knowing isn't an excuse. We live in the time of information. This is going to go down in history as the age of information. There's never been information so widely available and free as it is now. And so, like, if you don't know something, it's your fault. There's no excuse for not knowing. And that's something I'm teaching my kids. And that's going to be a good life skill that I'm going to pass down through the generations. So, we've been live for an hour and 20.
Wow. And
Well,
yeah, dude, I just realized something too. You're talking about getting different views and everything, but we've been pretty spot on with everything the whole time.
I know. I know.
Like,
It
dude,
just happens.
I just failed as a guest.
No, no, no,
No, dude,
no. This good show,
this
man.
is awesome.
Yeah, man. I love I don't know why, but I feel like I'm gifted in this philosophy stuff, man. Like I have a really, really deep understanding of the human condition. Like I studied Nietzsche. I read all his work. Um, there's more philosophers I need to study too, like Yun. But I read a lot of books, a lot of habit books, and
Mhm.
basically what I want to do is spread that knowledge. I want to like that's my gift. That's what the merch of the show is. That's the what you take away from it is life changing shit. Like I want people that are struggling and are suffering to watch this show, you know, because I have so much sympathy for that and compassion because I've experienced it and I know the hell it is. And it's like I've essentially like I've been really like I atheist sort of, but like now with the awakening of my mind and my morality, I understand how important religion is, and I understand the idea of God, and I understand the idea of heaven and hell, and I understand the stories in the Bible now, like heaven on earth, and like if you commit these sins, you're gonna live in hell. Like these aren't places you go. You're not going to heaven. You're not going to hell. You fucking live in that shit. If you make bad choices, bad moral choices, you will live in hell. You will be miserable. You will suffer. But you can get out of it if you do things the right way. If you do treat like your body's a temple, that's a thing that religious people say. I think that only has to do with what you put in it. When you like, if your body is a machine, you're not going to put the bad oils in it. You're not going to use used oil. You're not going to put watered down gasoline.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? You're going to give it the best. And I think that's what it means by like your body's a temple and like heaven is like what when you find clarity, when you come out of hell and you find peace. that's heaven on earth, bro. Like that's happiness.
Mhm.
And I get why religion is important. I get it. I think it's super crucial for society, especially lost souls, man. People who don't know where they're going or what they're doing. And that's what the God shaped mommy hole is here to do. We're here to spread the gospel of mankind because I believe we are God. I think we are all connected. That's why we all like have this conscious thing. And I don't think God is a being. I think God is divided up in all of us. And like the devil is the bad side. Like there's yin and yang. Like there's so much to it, man. Like I can go on and on and on. But thanks for coming on, Clint. It was a great episode, and I look forward to
Yeah,
talking to you some more. Maybe you can have me on your show, talk about
yeah,
some geek
dude,
shit.
absolutely, dude. Any time,
All
I'll
right,
be
just let me know,
glad
man.
to break it down with you. Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
definitely. We're
All right,
already in touch, so
fuck yeah. All right, everybody, go follow Clint at Vengeful Jedi. You can follow me on Instagram at Tony Cosner. You guys have a great fucking evening, and bye.